Scary.
Hello, horror lovers. How are you? In today's video, we're diving deep into Heretic, a new horror film directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. With Hugh Grant playing a chilling villain, the film is as cerebral as it is unsettling. But it's the ending that really makes us sit up and think, what does it all mean? Is there something more going on beneath the surface? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. If you haven't watched the movie yet, then be careful because there will be spoilers. Let's break down the complex themes of faith, control, and the supernatural, and unravel the meaning behind the film's thought-provoking ending.
It's not going through. What do you think he wants? I think that we're being stuck.
The core themes: faith and control. At its heart, Heretic is a film about faith, not just religious faith, but faith in the people around us and faith in the world we live in. The plot revolves around two Mormon missionaries, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, who find themselves trapped in the home of the sinister Mr. Reed, played by Hugh Grant. He lures them in under the guise of religious curiosity, but it quickly becomes clear that his intentions are far more dangerous. Reed's religion is rooted in the concept of control. Throughout the film, he engages in deep philosophical discussions, exploring the nature of belief and how it can be manipulated. He argues that all religions are simply iterations of each other, constantly evolving and adapting over time. But what Reed believes to be the true religion is the one that gives him absolute control over others. This is where the film gets truly unsettling. Reed's desire isn't to convert the missionaries or to teach them anything about Mormonism. Instead, he wants to dominate them, using faith as a tool of psychological and emotional control. The concept of faith is tested throughout the film. Can belief in something intangible, like religion or an afterlife, provide strength in a situation as terrifying as the one Reed has created? What happens when that belief is twisted and used against us? The film forces us to reconsider the value of faith, the price we pay for it, and the consequences of giving it to the wrong person.
So you have to go doon in order to go hoot.
Mr. Reed, the mastermind of manipulation. Mr. Reed is introduced as a polite, well-spoken man, but as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that there is something deeply sinister beneath his charming exterior. Reed uses his charisma to lull Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton into a false sense of security. He invites them into his home under the pretense of wanting to learn about Mormonism, but he has an ulterior motive to break their faith and manipulate them. Grant's performance as Reed is masterful. He exudes an unsettling calmness throughout, making his descent into cruelty all the more disturbing. At first, his actions seem benign, inviting the missionaries to sit down, offering them food, engaging in friendly conversation. But with each passing minute, Reed's behavior grows more erratic and controlling. His need to dominate becomes evident when he continually tries to push Barnes and Paxton into a corner, questioning their beliefs and challenging them to reconsider their faith. As the film progresses, we see that Reed has spent years studying religions, looking for the one true religion, one that allows him to control those around him. He doesn't just want followers, he wants people who will submit to him completely. This manipulation culminates in a horrifying ritual, where Reed attempts to convince Barnes and Paxton that death and the afterlife are not what they believe. Instead, he presents them with the idea that nothing exists beyond this life, and that only through complete submission to him can they be freed from their illusion of faith.
Learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ.
Come on in.
We can't come inside unless another woman is present.
The resurrection trick, control through death. One of the most unsettling aspects of Reed's plan is his manipulation of life and death. He presents Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton with a grotesque miracle in the form of a woman who has been resurrected after dying. This woman, whom Reed introduces as a prophet, claims to have glimpsed the afterlife, offering cryptic words about angels and the clouds. But what's truly horrifying is the revelation that this woman is just another victim, part of Reed's collection of controlled women. She's playing a role, following a script Reed has written for her. When the woman dies, Reed uses her death as a way to further manipulate Barnes and Paxton. He tells them that she will rise again and reveal the truth of the afterlife. But as the woman returns to life, her cryptic words, "It isn't real," serve as a chilling commentary on the falsehoods Reed has created. It becomes apparent that Reed's control over life and death isn't divine. It's all part of his sick game to break the missionaries' spirits. This moment illustrates the power Reed has over his victims. By controlling not just their physical bodies, but their beliefs and perceptions of the world, Reed becomes an all-powerful figure in their lives. His manipulation of death and resurrection is a disturbing metaphor for the way some religious or ideological leaders exploit their followers, promising them eternal salvation while keeping them trapped in a cycle of control and submission.
What happens if we choose the wrong door?
The ambiguous death and resurrection of Sister Barnes. Perhaps the most shocking moment of the film is when Reed slashes Sister Barnes's throat, seemingly killing her. This moment is both brutal and tragic, leaving Paxton alone and desperate. But in a twist of fate, Barnes miraculously reappears at the most crucial moment, saving Paxton from Reed's final act of violence. The nature of Barnes's return is intentionally ambiguous. Did she survive her wounds, waiting for the right moment to strike? Or was she truly resurrected as Reed had promised? The ambiguity of her return plays into the film's central theme. Faith is often uncertain and unreliable. Whether Barnes was faking her death or genuinely brought back to life, the key takeaway is that she defied Reed's control. Whether through sheer willpower or divine intervention, this moment raises important questions about the nature of belief. Can faith be relied upon in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary? Barnes's return suggests that even in the most hopeless of situations, there may still be a chance for redemption or survival. It's a hopeful message, albeit one that remains open to interpretation.
Should we ask him for help? It doesn't matter what you say to him.
The basement and the women in cages, the true nature of Reed's control. As the film progresses, Paxton discovers the true horror of Reed's world when she stumbles upon a hidden basement filled with women locked in cages. These women are not just victims, they are part of Reed's twisted ideology. He has captured them over the years, using psychological and physical manipulation to keep them under his control. They have become slaves to his will, each one a testament to Reed's belief that control is the ultimate form of power. This discovery adds another layer of horror to the film. Reed's belief in control as the one true religion is not just an abstract concept. It's a horrific reality that he's imposed on real people. The cages represent his complete domination over his followers, reducing them to mere objects in his quest for power. His manipulation of faith, life, and death becomes even more chilling when we realize that these women are his tools, forced to carry out his twisted vision of the world. The women in the cages also symbolize the loss of identity that comes with surrendering one's faith or autonomy to someone else. Reed doesn't just control what his victims believe, he controls their very existence, reducing them to mere shadows of who they once were. Their trapped existence serves as a warning about the dangers of blind faith and the price of losing one's sense of self.
Wow! No, you read more than we do. No, seriously, Mr. Reed.
The butterfly, a symbol of rebirth and redemption. In the final moments of Heretic, Paxton manages to escape the house after a brutal confrontation with Reed. As she stumbles outside, a butterfly lands on her hand. This moment ties back to a conversation Paxton had with Sister Barnes earlier in the film, where they discussed the possibility of coming back as butterflies after death, something that would allow them to check on their loved ones and let them know they are at peace. The butterfly represents a form of rebirth and hope, even in the face of horror. While the film has explored the dark side of faith and control, the butterfly suggests that faith, whether in life, in the afterlife, or in one's own strength, can still lead to peace and redemption. The butterfly symbolizes Paxton's survival, but it also represents the possibility of something more. The idea that even in a world filled with manipulation and suffering, there is still room for hope and freedom.
Oh. Mr. Reed?
Our nerdy thoughts, faith, control, and the horror of Heretic. In the end, Heretic is a deeply unsettling film that explores the dangers of blind faith, the manipulative power of control, and the ambiguity of life and death. Through Mr. Reed's twisted beliefs and his cruel treatment of his victims, the film questions the very nature of religion and faith. Is faith something that can be used for good, or is it ultimately a tool of manipulation and control? The ending is intentionally ambiguous, leaving viewers to decide for themselves whether Barnes was resurrected or simply waiting for the right moment to strike. But one thing is clear: the themes of Heretic will linger long after the credits roll. The film's exploration of faith, control, and the afterlife challenges us to think about our own beliefs and the consequences of putting our trust in the wrong hands. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts on Heretic in the comments below. Did you think Barnes was resurrected? What does the butterfly mean to you? See you in our next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.
Heck, I'll laugh anyway.